Welcome. This is Mystic, your spiritual hall monitor. I came on here to explain a story familiar to mine to help the idle mind possibly can understand if you got the wisdom. So, the story of Joseph. What happened with Joseph and his brothers? Well, kind of like my story. Joseph's brothers were jealous of him to the point to where they sold Joseph to the slaves. But what did they do after they sold their brother to the slaves? They literally put like animal blood on his garment and then showed his father, look, your son is gone, right? Because they were so jealous of him that he was going to get a blessing. So what does his brothers do? They staged a death. They staged a passing that never happened. So years and years and years went by. And father was always weeping that Joseph had passed away. But what happened? Joseph was sold into slavery. But he was such a good worker, the king had moved him up as a servant. But then guess what? The wife, the woman, tried to set him up and said, oh, he ripped off my clothes and he tried to harm me. Tried to set Joseph up so he can go to jail. Right? Needless to say, it didn't work. But this is where jealousy leads to people. Right? But then eventually, Joseph was crowned. Right? He was crowned. But then when he was crowned, the whole land went into a whole fathom of loss of food. So where his brothers were, there was no food, there was no harvest, right? But what had happened? They threw the chosen one away, but he became king. Interesting enough. And then his brothers came pleading to him, unbeknownst that was their brother, because they hadn't seen him in time. Interesting how the roles switched, isn't it?